Egyptologists is today's podcast. I was thinking how people show those third eyes and what does the eye on the back of the dollar bill mean? You ever heard a pimp say, hey man, all that monkey shit you doing is hurting my eyesight, right? And basically what he was saying was a lot of homosexuals, right? Homosexuality was hurting the Pharaoh's eyesight. Because he could steal with one eye, he didn't mind looking at the woman. But the faggot was so fucked up and causing so many droughts and diseases that the Pharaoh didn't want to look at it. So basically, it wasn't the fact that the Pharaoh was actually blind or the god was actually blind. That's not what they were saying. Like I said, you ever hear a pimp say, keep in mind, these words pimp, Mac, all these words are Egyptology words, you heard me, ancient science. Remember, that's what the Pharaoh was basically saying. There was 6 species of man. Homo sapien, homo this, homo that. And one day, the homosexual had to grow up and become heterosexual. That is his butterfly stage, his evolution. Say, for instance, people say they were born gay. You probably was, but here's the problem. You got to grow the fuck up, right? You hear me? Because the 7 Ali, right, or the Elohim, right, you hear me? Later on these 9 poop cycles, but even if people even are heterosexual, say you're Aboriginal, you're heterosexual, you still don't have that status of Ra, or what they call the representatives of Ra, what we call reparations. Because that has something to do with who? But remember, you got these Horus, Osiris, Set, Isis, Nephthys stories, right? Where they getting this erection back, right? But that's the temple of Edfu stuff. But then you got those other versions of Ptah where he like, we not negotiating with terrorists. The real person that can't, that's Ptah, the god of Memphis. He was like, we just kill him. Fuck all this treason and shit, you hear me? Fuck all that trying to figure shit out. We ain't figuring shit out. We already figured it out. You ain't talking about shit. Ain't nothing to figure out at this point. Like I said, the women, they been, that's the whole vampirism. Y'all kind of didn't allow that faggot to basically vampire suck you dry. He can't really suck like the people with immunity dry, because we don't give a fuck about nothing they talking about no way. We don't even look at that shit. So the next time you see, like I said, even in yoga class, they teach you about these 7 chakras and shit, right? Why is the 7 chakras or the root chakra in the crack of your ass? Your root should be where your reproductive organs is, not in the crack of your ass. So if you really, like I said, it's fake science. I got an email today about mathematics and shit, about all these fake scientists. Like I said, photosynthesis. Everybody know what the XX and the XY chromosome is. You're not getting that wrong by mistake. You know that biodiversity and diversity are 2 different words. You're not getting that wrong by mistake. You're a fraud. You have a history of fraud. All your friends are fraud. And nobody wants to do business with a fraud. No more than a prominent business person or a big-time basketball team is going to sign a loser. Like, think for instance, right, if you can't make the Chicago Bulls basketball team, the Detroit Pistons ain't gonna hire you.
Yeah, the sad part.
We're not hiring you. You hear me? Because you ain't talking about shit. You ain't got no game, no skills. And you obviously, especially in the business world, no business person on planet Earth would do business with people in California due to the fact of how much, you never see like a record label that got to sign an artist, but he in so much goddamn trouble, you like, this is a liability, me even signing him to my motherfucking company. That's how these people in California is. You're too much of a liability for me to even do business with you. So remember, what is third eye again? That's a faggot that the Pharaoh don't want to look at. And faggot ass women, right? You hear me? These prostitutes of Babylon that create what? Droughts, right? You hear me? What did they go around doing? Corrupting people. The end. So next time you say third eye magic or your 6th sense, right? You hear me? That mean what? The pimp say it's hurt my eyesight. The Sphinx is the Mac. And what is Atum or Patti Atum in the University of Memphis? That's the Pharaoh and his son. But the military, where he had to cut them off too, say, wait a minute, my kid is still my kid. You ain't my child. And you got to grow the fuck up. Because the only people that sharing this wealth, the majority of the wealth that is my women and children. Hold your own nuts, nigga. You heard me? I'm out.